Okay, this video is going to explain how to do the job research and job interview final assignment. And you can just click this from the website. And you're going to be researching jobs online at chicagotribune.com. You're going to locate a potential job, complete a resume and cover letter, and have a mock job interview with your teacher. And that mock means fake, okay? And you can just read this here and make sure that you are here. Just make sure you read this at the bottom of page 1. Make sure that you're here for all the days of the assignment. Even though it may not be the day of the final, you still may need to go. Make sure you're there, because if you don't, then you'll receive a 0 on the final. Just be sure to read this paragraph and ask your teacher if you have any questions. Okay, it's important to be able to find a good job. It's an important part of having a happy life. It's true that money does not make you happy, but the absence of money can make it hard to be happy. And so the goal is to get a job you truly enjoy doing. If you like doing it, you'll probably be good at it. And when you're good at something, you're worth being paid a good salary. If you enjoy your work, then your work isn't really work. Imagine actually enjoying getting up and doing something you like every day and getting paid for it too. That is the key, is that you look forward to getting up and you look forward to going to work because you really enjoy it. All right, and that's what this is all about. And again, you should read this. Here's a tip: where to look for a job. When you go to look for a job, the short answer is anywhere and everywhere. You have to investigate any possible job opening if the job is one you'd be interested in. I mean, friends, family, neighbors, anyone that you know that knows about a job opening, just jump on it as fast as you can and try to get that job. But absent that, if you don't have any luck with any of your contacts and your friends and family, then the best thing to do is to look in the newspaper online, the newspaper website online. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to chicagotribune.com. And this here is all explained in the packet. But what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go through this step by step. Okay, and I'm going to go on here to the Tribune website. Okay, so just go to www.chicagotribune.com. Okay, and at the top, like most websites, at the top you'll see something about jobs. Okay, and there it is. So you just click on jobs, and then it takes you, like I have here in the packet. It shows click on jobs, and then there's that screen. It shows you on the sheet. So let's go back to it. Okay, and then what you do here is to find jobs. A keyword is something like retail or construction or automotive or something like that. A keyword is, if the keyword you type in is within the job advertisement, then it'll come up. Another way to look at it is to just look at the job categories. These are kind of narrow categories right here. Like if you want to get involved in grocery stores, or you want to work for the government, or get a job in manufacturing, you would just select there. Or what you could do is, this is like a broader sort of a way of selecting what kind of job you're interested in. And then what you could do, what I would do, is right here put in your zip code. Okay, put in your zip code and then say, well, I want to get a job within, let's say, 20 miles of that zip code. Okay, or what you could do is you could choose a region here, and that might help you. But anyway, just try it out. I mean, it doesn't cost any money. I mean, do this as much as you can. Let's just say that you want to get a job in construction and you want it to be within 30 miles of where you live, and you just click find jobs. And then it brings them up right here. Okay, construction jobs in Lockport, and then within 50 miles of Lockport. And here's the job list that it shows you. All these jobs, everything in orange is a job, and you just click on it. Well, let's see. Let's pick this one. So you just click on it, and then it tells you, well, it tells you sort of like a summary here, but if you click on this link, it will tell you a lot more detail about that particular job. Okay, everything that you need to know in order to get the job. All right, and to apply for the job, you click, I mean, you're not going to actually do it now. To apply for the job, you just click apply now, and then it gives you a form that you can fill in order to apply for the job. But let's go back a few. Let's just do one more. Okay, in fact, let's go back to the Chicago Tribune website. Just go to jobs, and then let's say you want to get a job in, let's say, how about retail? Okay, and you want to work within 10 miles of, let's say in Chicago. All right, now that's a big city, so you're going to get a lot of jobs. Okay, so if you click find jobs, there's 289 of them. So you just have to spend time looking through and see what jobs here seem to appeal to you. Let's see, here's a customer service rep. You just click that, and it tells you a little bit more about the job opening, and if you're interested, you click apply now. Sometimes it'll ask you for an email address, which is why you really need to have an email address. Most jobs will first ask you what is your email address, which we're going to get to in just a second. Okay, so that's basically how it is. So what you should do is you should print this. See, when you have a job and you want to go to do your mock interview at in the classroom, then this is what you need to print. So just take this information here and just click print it, and it'll show something like this, and then you just say print page, and then the printer thing will come up, and then you can print it, and that's what you need. Okay, so let's go back to the packet. So you see in the packet it shows all this. It tells you what to do. It shows you screen by screen how to look for a job and find it. Again, this is the place where you print it, and then you apply now, and so forth and so on. Okay. The next thing you need is a resume. Okay? And that resume has to sell you in 10 seconds. That's about how long an HR employee will spend glancing at your resume for the first time. That's it. Just 10 seconds. And that person is going to put it into one of two piles. Looks good and definitely not. You have to get into the looks good pile. Alright, that is the key. Must get into the looks good pile. And the way to do this is your resume must be perfect. Perfect. Not one single mistake. And it shows you what to do here. I'm going to get to that in a second. One other thing, in your resume you have to have an email address. Email is still king or queen. Email is still the boss when it comes to business. Texting is great when it comes to your friends, but business does not use texting. Business has always used email since it began, and it will likely continue to use email for a long, long time. Email is still very important in business, and you should have a nice professional sounding email address, not sexylipsbabe@hotmail.com. Nobody's going to hire you if you have a goofy sounding email address like this. It should be professional and boring, like this, like Susie Briggs 4034 or John Smith 17 or something. It should be boring and professional. Okay, and don't put your date of birth in your email to protect yourself from identity theft. Okay, just your name, preferably your name and some number after it, or a nickname or something, but it should be boring and professional. Okay, and here is a sample resume. Your resume should not, this is not the time to be a graphic designer. This is not the time to make a beautiful artsy resume with colors and fancy fonts and all this garbage. Don't do it. Give them a plain, easy to read, neatly typed, grammatically perfect perfectly spelled resume, okay? This is what they want. The people you're sending a resume to, that person probably has hundreds of resumes to look at, and that person is expecting certain things to be in certain places and look a certain way, and it makes it easier. It makes it for them to decide what to do with the resume. And if a resume is put in front of them that's all fancy and difficult to read, they're just going to put it in the reject pile. All right, so this is a template or a guide. Now, you don't type what you see here. This is what it should look like: your name, your address, city, state, zip, etc., 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 and just use these headings, okay? My advice is do not use the templates in Microsoft Word, because they oftentimes result in a fancy looking resume with tiny little print that's difficult to read. You're not, like I said, this is not the time to impress people with your graphic design skills. The purpose of a resume is to convey information in an easy to read, standard professional format, okay? So just copy this template. When I say copy, you're not going to put down what's here. In other words, well, you will put the headings: objective, education, employment, and so forth, but that's it. You're going to fill it in with the latest information that you have and ask your teacher for more details about exactly what should be on your resume. All right, that's what your teacher is for. The other thing that you need is a cover letter. A cover letter is a short, enthusiastic letter that's submitted with your resume. All right, it should be brief. The person who's looking at it is only going to spend about 15 seconds, 30 seconds looking through it. That's it. Brief and to the point, and it's a letter that's going to sell you. It's going to make you stand out from all the other people applying for the job. Okay, and again, it must be perfect. No grammar or spelling errors. Even one single mistake and it's going to get put into the reject pile. Okay? Now, if a job opening specifically says resume only, then don't send a cover letter. Otherwise, send it. Okay? And you can read more about it in the packet. And here's a template. This is another example of it should be a nice, plain, boring, standard business letter. No fancy fonts, no fancy colors, plain and boring. Okay? And then at the bottom, make sure that you say sincerely, leave 4 spaces, you sign your name, and then you print your name, you type your name here, okay? And this is what the letter should look like. All right? And then you move on to the job interview, okay? And just read this packet. I'm not going to go through reading everything, but read this packet, and I want to tell you one thing. Everyone is nervous at their interview. It's normal. When you're nervous, just keep in mind it's normal. And if you're very nervous, that's very normal, okay? And don't worry about it. You're going to be nervous. Don't let the fact that you're nervous make you more nervous, okay? It's normal to be nervous and to be shaking and to be sweating. It is perfectly okay. It means that you care. Everybody gets nervous. And I'll tell you a tip. The person interviewing you is probably nervous too. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so just use these, follow these interview tips. And here are some tough interview questions. And you're going to go over this with your teacher. These are the tough questions that come up again and again and again. And you have to answer them. You have to answer them. You can't say, I don't know. Don't say, I don't know. And this is what you're going to be going over in class with your teacher. Like, for example, this is something that irritates everybody. Tell me about a weakness you have and what you do to overcome it. Or tell me something you've done recently that you're proud of. You need to have answers to these questions. All right? And you're going to work on this in class and come up with good ones that are tailored to you. All right? And then here's your checklist for an A. Make sure that you've checked off each and every single one of these things. All right? And then this is how this is the grading rubric. And you should read this too. This is how you're going to be graded on your resume, your cover letter, filling out the tough interview questions, the interview itself, and then the evaluation sheets. Also on the website, there is a link for the evaluation sheet, which you're going to be filling out for each person. Okay, and let me show you what that is now. All right, This here is the interview evaluation sheet. So you're going to put you're going to fill out one of these for each person you observe, and you're going to observe everybody that's in your class. You put your name on the top of each and every one. So let's say there's 5 people being interviewed today. You're going to fill out this your name on each, 5 times on 5 separate sheets, and then you're going to put the name of the person that you're evaluating on each one of these sheets. And you're to fill one of these sheets out for yourself also, okay? You're going to fill out one of these sheets for yourself also. So on that one, you put your name here and you put your name here again. Don't write me when you're writing your name for your own evaluation, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So again, when you're evaluating yourself, put your name here and your name here. And then just circle 1. The student was mature, whether you agree or disagree, okay? And whether the student showed self-confidence, whether the student answered questions well, and whether you would hire this person, okay? And then you're going to write what was an interview strength. In other words, what did they do well, and then what should this interviewee work on improving? In other words, what is it that you think they could do a little bit better? And don't criticize on the sheet. Don't say, something mean or something critical without giving some, possible suggestions. If somebody is wearing a tie that you don't like, don't say your tie is ugly. Say something like a blue tie would have looked better than the yellow one you wore, or you should have worn a green tie instead of a red tie. Don't say your tie is ugly because or things like that, because just saying something mean and critical doesn't do anything to help the person. So put this in positive terms, okay? And then so that's it. That is the whole packet, and just make sure that you go through it, pay attention in class, and you should do well on this whole thing. And when you get done, you'll get a lot of really good practice in conducting yourself professionally in an interview. Thanks a lot for watching, and look through the site to find other helpful videos.